For the sake of yourself, your family, and for the next generation, I need you to listen to this because I need you to change how you look at rejection. I want you to be at a position where whenever you are rejected, you are still favored in a way. Kamala Mukarabo Dynamite Nyalung with the leadership that led the leader to the leading lead. This is another episode of Dynamite Unmasked, the pink gown. I'm not wearing my gown, but I am representing, I want us to talk about rejection. I want us to talk about learning and unlearning as far as rejection is concerned. And the context here is careers, hustles, talents, passions, You need to understand that in every industry that you step into, there are giants. And for you to see them as giants, they started somewhere. They needed to work their way to the top. For you to be a giant, you also need to do that. Don't be afraid to pay your dues. You need to pay your dues for you to get there. You don't miraculously get there because you are blessed and highly favored. You need to pay the dues, In paying the dues, you will come across people who, when you need guidance, they shut you out. You will come across people who you will type the longest of emails, the longest of essays into their emails and they will not reply. Take it from someone who was left and still continues to be left unseen when I send certain DMs to certain people. Take it from someone who's left on blue ticks when I write and give my all to an essay so that this person gets to read it and give me a chance. Because I see this person as a role model. I see this person as a potential mentor. So there will be instances where you give your utmost effort. You give it your best shot, and you still not get replied. You still not get considered. You still not get, recognized. That comes along with paying your dues. Sometimes you ask guidance from the giants themselves in the industry and they feel like, who are you? Who is this amateur to ask me this? I'm not going to give in, But I need you to change how you look at that. It's very easy for you to be bitter, having had those experiences, perhaps in succession even. It's very easy for you to be bitter, to have, after being exposed to sending emails where you give them your utmost best, and they don't get replied. All the time when you approach people, you don't get those feedbacks. You literally get zero. It's like you haven't done anything. It's very easy to be bitter. Don't be. Refuse to be bitter. Understand that for every opportunity that you knock at, for every door that you knock at, there's no guarantee that it will open. But view that door in a sense that whether or not it opens, you are favored, If it doesn't open, understand that for this time, for this period, this door is not ready for me. I am not ready for this door, or this is not my door for this period. You don't sulk, you don't cry, you don't vent, you don't become bitter. You go and knock on other doors. Sometimes we approach people because we feel like this person embodies so much that from other people, I'll need 5 people to cover what this person is going to give me, right? You knock at this person's door, they refuse to open. At that time, they don't want to open, or they don't think you are deserving of their time. At that time, it's not favoring you. They're not favoring you. Their response is not favoring you. You don't sulk. You don't unfollow them. You don't go bitter on them. You don't speak bad about them. You go to the 5 people. You get what you need. You come back and you knock. Refuse to let defeat be the end of you. It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us where I remember a quote by John Cena, and he says, sometimes you can be so prepared, and still fail. But that is not the end of the world. So sometimes there's nothing wrong with the email. It's top notch. There's nothing wrong with your approach. It's top notch. You are very subtle in the email. You are respectful. You've acknowledged everything that you needed to acknowledge. You've observed protocol. There's nothing wrong with you. But perhaps it's the timing. At that time, understand that this thing and me, at this time, we are not going to be a good combination. Or it's not my time yet. So go elsewhere, empower yourself with other people. Knowledge is not confined to one person. And like I said, you may approach one person because you know that you can maximize from what you can get from them. What you need from them, you need more other people to get it as a package. What they can offer you, you need 100 other people to give you. If they don't open their door, go to 100 other people, get what you need to get, and come back and knock. What I like about knowledge is that it doesn't have an expiry date. So don't be bitter and say, this person, when I started out, they didn't believe in me. They didn't give me an opportunity. Take it as, at the time when I approached this person, they didn't think it was the right time. At the time when I approached this person, circumstances did not favor me. In life, we don't give up. In life, we move away from the mentality of the past generation where people used to feel entitled so much to people's response, entitled so much to people's kindness, to people's time, that when those people do not give those times and kindness and their responses, it was the end of the world. So can we move from a generation of people who used to think like that and start viewing things positively? If the door opens, you get there, you maximize on the opportunity that the door offers. If the door doesn't open, you go out there elsewhere, you knock elsewhere, you empower yourself. 5, 6 years, no matter how long, you come back to the very same door and say, I'm still present, and look at what it has to offer you. If it's offering you opportunities of the person that you've already got from several other people, it's okay, you let it pass. It may start as you wanting mentorship today. In your teenage years, you want mentorship from this person. They're shutting their doors. Go empower yourself. Maybe in your varsity years, you'll just need a coffee date, where you've got all the questions that you need to ask, and maybe you want it as a coffee date right now as a varsity student, and then 4 or 5 years down the line, the door opens. Because as a varsity student, it didn't open. You went out there, you empowered yourself. 4 or 5 years down the line, you own a company and you want a collaboration. You speak business with the person, So that alone helps you not to confine someone to a certain bit of knowledge, So when the door doesn't open, go out there, empower yourself, come back, see what they got to offer. Do you still need it? If you still do, you get it, Don't be bitter and say, this person didn't believe in me when I was starting up, when I was coming up. So even when they present you with an opportunity after several years of you knocking and not getting any luck, when they finally present you with an opportunity, you're like, no, I'm okay, and you're doing it to spite them. You are cutting yourself short. You are cutting yourself short. There will be a time they see that you are persistent. When someone says no, don't say it's the end of the world. He said no, then and therefore the dream is finished. No, empower yourself from other people, from what you can get in other places. You come back, you knock at the door. They will see that persistence. They will see that growth. Maybe there's something that they felt you didn't earn when you first knocked. Initially they felt, no, you're still an amateur, you still need some refining, you still need this and this and that. I'll wait until you achieve this standard of accolades, or this whatever that they think will qualify you to be in their presence or to be deserving of whatever you say you need from them. Allow them to be that. They are giants, isn't it? You approach them for a reason, isn't it? You approach them because you believe there's something in them that they can plant in you, and it can grow and multiply, right? So if they don't think you have what it takes right now, don't use that rejection to tame you for life. Yes, it will be sad. Be angry for that moment. Cry if you need to for that moment. But moving forward, go out there, empower yourself, come back, knock. Go out there, empower yourself, come back, knock. When it doesn't open, when the door doesn't open, it's simply an opportunity for you to empower yourself on other doors, with other people, at other places, And funny enough, you may get better opportunities out there. But because you are so focused on this 1% and them shutting the door is them shutting your dreams, you may miss out on that, So change how you look at rejection. Understand it as when someone says, I'm willing to help you, take it as if it really comes from their kindness. They don't have to, Sometimes we approach the best broadcasters, we approach the best footballers, we approach the best whatever industries that they are in. But honestly, their job, what they are contracted to, is to delivering on the pitch, is to deliver on the pitch. What they're contracted to is to read that auto cue and give you the news. What they're contracted to is to come at a concert and perform, you know. They're not contracted to you seeking mentorship from them. They're not contracted to giving you mentorship. They're not contracted to giving you advice. They're not contracted to letting you into their space. So understand that once you seek that from someone, and they choose to give it to you, it's solely out of their kindness. They don't have to. They don't get paid to do that, you know. Even if maybe it's good when you have a good interaction with your fans and everything, but bottom line, they don't have to. Bottom line, they don't have to reply to your DM. When they do it, consider yourself very lucky. Take it as if it comes from a place of their kindness. You know, don't think you are entitled to that. Whether or not you voted for them at Idols, whether or not you voted for them to be player of the season, whether or not you voted for them to be broadcaster of the year, they don't owe you anything. You know, so if they don't open that door, don't let that demotivate you and demoralize you for what else you could get from other people. It may take longer as you get it from other people because you thought, if in 2019 I can get this package from this person, I'm sorted for life. You know, maybe you need to move from A, B, C, D, E until H, you know, for you to accumulate what this one person can give you. It may take longer, but don't think that's the end of you. Don't mark that as the end of you. So change how you view rejection. I repeat, change how you view rejection. When the door opens, you get in, you maximize on what the door has to offer. You maximize on those opportunities. If the door doesn't open, you should empower yourself. It's an opportunity for you to empower yourself so that the next time you come back to this door, you are a different person. You've grown. You're not the same person who knocked 5 years back. You know, you do not have the same approach as the person who knocked 5 years back. So sometimes before you beat yourself too hard and be like, was that email too offensive? Was I not supposed to? Sometimes you prepare so much and you still fail. And it's not the end of the world, you know? So that's a quote from John Cena, WWE's John Cena, you know? And I think for me, that's one quote that really kept me going because I come from what I'm telling you about. I come from typing essays in people's DMs and people's emails and they don't get replied. You get so frustrated because the process of typing that essay, you want it to be top notch, that it takes about a week because you want to get the grammar correctly. You want to get the names correctly. You want to get the pronouns correctly. You want to get everything right? It needs to go through maybe 4 of your friends. It gets to be edited. A lot goes on into it. Sometimes you can have that and still not be replied. Don't be demoralized, you know? Don't be demoralized. You need to understand that certain privileges are earned, you know? For you to have my number, you need to earn it. For you to have my email address, you need to earn it. For you to have anything that allows you into my space, you need to earn it, you know? It doesn't mean because I'm a public figure, then I have to, or I'm obliged to give you anything that allows you in my personal space. What I do is what I'm contracted to do. What I do as a broadcaster is what I'm contracted to do. I'm not contracted to have personal relations with you. Understand that. I'm not paid to be exchanging DMs with you. When that happens, understand that it's solely from a person's kindness. You understand? So don't feel entitled to their replies. Don't feel entitled to them responding to you at the rate that you want them to. You know, they are people, they've got their personal spaces, and you need to earn your way to that personal space. They need to allow you. It doesn't come automatically. You bought a PSL ticket to watch me play, and then somewhere when you DM me, I should respond like this. No, let's respect people. Let's respect their spaces. Let's understand that you need to earn. You earn it your way from being a fan to having a personal relation with this person. You know, because they don't get paid for that encounter. They don't get paid for that relationship, you know? So as much as we love these people. Let's understand that they're also human like us. They need their space to be protected. They need to have their own privacy. They need to have their own, as much as they're public figures for what they do. They're public figures for what they're contracted to do, not for having their personal spaces shared with the rest of the world. As much as you want to have your own me time, they need that too. So when you approach someone, you are not sure of where in life they are. Yes, your Instagram may show them as happy, but there's a personal line, there's a personal circle where they get to be vulnerable and everything. You won't see that on Instagram. So understand, take those into consideration when you type your long DMs, when you type your long essays, your long emails and everything. Understand that you are dealing with another human being. Right? You are dealing with another human being. He is a stranger. She is a stranger. They've never seen you. So also be very careful with the usage of things like emojis, things like capital letters, because for the fact that I don't know you, I am tone deaf to everything that you say. So put it in a way that it doesn't have ambiguous meanings, Put it in a way that I'm not gonna get lost. Because if you type capital letters, I can be like, this person is shouting at me. This stranger is shouting at me. What gives you the right to be shouting at me on my email? So be very subtle as possible. When you give me a rolling emoji eyes, to you it may be like, oh man, so I was just thinking, and to you it may be a playful thing. To me, I'm like, this person has a nerve to send me rolling eyes, So we are tone deaf to what you send to us. So don't cut yourself short. When you send that best email, make sure there are no ambiguous meanings there. And understand that even when you've done that, you are not going to get the reply, or you are not going to get an outcome that favors you. And for that, it may be for that moment, but that shouldn't throw you off. That shouldn't be the end of you. It may not favor you now. Come back after 2 years. Come back after 2 months. Come back after whenever. Knock on the same door. When I come and say, oh, okay, I have an opportunity for you, and then I think I can, don't say, hey, you didn't support me 3 years back. No, don't cut yourself short. It's another learning opportunity. See if it suits you for that time. Look at it, and if it does, take it, run with it. That is how you learn. So let us move away from feeling entitled. Let us move away from taking rejection as defeat, as the total end of us. Let us change how we see rejection. For the last time, when you knock on a door and it doesn't open, you need to understand that also provides you with an opportunity to empower yourself on other doors, with other doors and other opportunities, and at other places with other people. When it opens, you go in and you maximize. So whether or not you face rejection, you are still favored. You are still on the winning side. Kamala Mukarabo Dynamite Nyalungu. #Skajisa Team.